Yep, so close yet so far. I think this is the phrase which has been on my mind for the past 24 hours or so. And in a series which India could have easily been like 3-0, leading 3-0 at this point of time, and now we are trailing by 2-1. Welcome to another episode of Bat Balla, and we are here to discuss the third test match at Lords between India and England. Uh, Suresh, a lot to talk about, but I think I was not able to sleep properly yesterday because this actually hurt badly, right? I mean, there's something about this game, which again, like the first couple of games, India dominated the game for a major portion, at least 60-70% of it, and then suddenly India found themselves short by 20 odd runs. What are your initial thoughts on the loss?
No, I mean very tough pill to swallow, right? I mean, and the see the real to be really frank, at 81 for seven, I mean we all gave up hope, right? It's just a matter of time. I mean, you don't even think they last till lunch, but then the partnership started building up. The most unlikely of partnerships, one after the other, they kept continuing, and it's always the hope that kills, right? As long as we have that useless thing called hope with you, it's always a tough ride. And yeah, it went on till the last. We never expected it to reach so much. I mean, the last session of the day, even if you would have told us that India would have won, we would have expected India to win by lunch, mostly post lunch, right? The fact that we took it to the fifth session with I mean, with those last two wickets, commendable effort, but very, like you said, very tough pill to swallow. And I think, I mean, you can't blame those guys who batted towards the end, right? They put in their best. I think we lost the match in the top order itself.
See, it's a very funny game, I remember us doing the pre-series show where we were discussing we were sort of doing a preview and we were discussing on the India's chances on this tour. And I think particularly made a remark, and we sort of were in sync with respect to that. That if India is able to win one game or maybe draw another game, I think as an Indian fan, I would be happy. Is what I said,
Yeah.
right? Because it is a fairly young team, young captain, one of the toughest places to tour. Inexperienced Indian top order, middle order. Bowling obviously was pretty much sorted to a certain extent, but at least from the batting point of view, and with the track record of Gambhir, the coach in the test format, I think nothing was in favor. So, but after 3 games, if you think about it, I think throughout the series, India have played some really good cricket. It's just those crunch moments, the defining moments where India have found themselves falling short. Right, they were not able to capitalize on certain moments. Be the first game, I think second test match was rather one-sided affair. But in the leads as well, we were not able to capitalize certain moments. And over here as well, I think there were certain two or three specific pointers which I probably can think of at this point of time, which India probably missed on, right? And that is why the result. Let's start with the day one proceedings. England decided to bat first for a change, and I think they were pretty good. I think that opening burst by Siraj and Bumrah, I think it was damn good. I think both the bowlers were pretty much on target, and England were really lucky not to find themselves at 20 odd for two or three. In that first spell, they somehow survived that spell, but then Nitish Kumar Reddy picked up a couple of wickets. But at the end, I think it was a very solid batting performance by England rather, and they finished the day at 250 for four. I mean, your thoughts on that? The opening burst by Bumrah and Siraj, then the particular approach by English batters, especially if we talk about say someone like a Joe Root.
Yeah, no, I mean, it was very puzzling batting effort, right? I mean, we talk of baseball, and there were even articles like the report saying that the day baseball died. It was like that, and that is purely due to the effort of the Indian bowling lineup, right? I mean, they were just spot on, like you mentioned, Siraj and Bumrah. Nothing given to them. Even Nitish Kumar Reddy came and bowled really well. Akashdeep though was slightly expensive, but he bowled well. I mean, he bowled well in patches as well. And I think hats off to that bowling attack. And England struggled. I mean, they never really were able to dominate, and that's been the hallmark of basketball, right? They want to dominate the bowlers. They were not able to do that, and so heartening to see. I mean, all the talks of okay, they'll go at 5 runs per over, 6 runs per over. They were struggling to reach 3 runs per over, and it was so anticlimactic and good, really good to see the effort put in by the Indian bowlers. And I think this whole talk of like I think even like we discussed the other day, right? Baseball is also evolving. It's no more like okay, bang bang, we'll go after every ball. They're also realizing that you know what, this is a really tough opposition. this is we can't take this opposition lightly. And the likes of Bumrah, the world's best bowlers, right? I mean, and kudos to that. I mean, it's a different strategy from them, but I think it's a strategy that was forced upon them rather than something they would have chosen to just by the really good bowling which India put up.
No, absolutely bang on solution. And I think at 250 for four, I think both the sides would have been a little probably satisfied to a certain extent. England because they did not lose too many wickets. India because they were able to contain
Yeah.
this entire baseball fiasco. But I think that the second day, that opening spell on the second day by Jasprit Bumrah was something else. You sort of almost expect that from Bumrah whenever he takes that red ball in his hand, and once again he proved why he's the world's best bowler, the greatest ever India has produced, I would say. And he was at a different level. From 250 odd for four, England was reduced to 270 odd for seven, right?
Right.
And then something happened. One of the many pivotal moments which we'll discuss about. India decided to change that damn ball. I don't know why.
No, to be really frank, even I remember I think Nasir Hussain brought that up, right? Why would you want to change the ball when you're bowling so well? And that was the crucial time when then the whole partnership came up with Cars, right? I mean, yeah, you could say that you would have expected the way Bumrah was bowling and the way the team was backing him up. I mean, it is sure that they wouldn't cross 300, but they ended up with 387, and that was a tough pill to swallow. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I don't understand why your team would do that. I know that you feel the ball gets softer, and maybe that's the reason why you want to change it. But then if you're bowling so well, it doesn't really matter, right? I mean, and like Nasruddin made a good point, right? Why are you so worried about the damn ball? You know that that ball behaves a particular way. Go ahead and play with it. No, and you're bowling so well. Why do you want to think so much? It is something difficult for me to understand. But like you said, I mean, what a spell by the world class bowler. And yes, a lot of people say that you know what we won without Bumrah, but just having Bumrah in your squad is such a crucial thing, right? I mean, it just puts so much pressure on the opposition. And when you think the opposition is going to get away, you just bring in a Bumrah spell, and he will do his magic. And again, we saw that, and so happy to have him this side. I mean, I really hope that yes, we are 2-1 down. I hope he comes back the next match. There's almost a week of gap, and I want him to play the next match, considering the fact that we had to level the series. But let's hope and watch. But it's so good to have him in the squad.
Yep, yep, and yet another fifer for him. His maiden fifer at Lords. I think he thoroughly deserved it more than anyone else going around, right? So 387, like you mentioned, is not an easy. I think it was a very formidable score on the
Yeah.
wicket. Considering how the things were panning out. And when India came out to bat, Indian top order, middle order, Shubman Gill, Pant, everyone was in form. So you had this feeling that India will probably come out hard, and exactly what the same thing happened. We lost a couple of wickets, but then the partnership kept on building. But the way Rishabh Pant played, along with KL Rahul, man, KL Rahul was class apart. He was so good on eyes, man. And I think there was this time, when Pant and Rahul were having that partnership. Uh, I think it was looking all too easy for India. And then suddenly that brain fade moment, wherein Pant decided that okay, KL needs to sort of finish his century in this over. And I think that's another pivotal moment which probably India missed on. And the partnership was like it was a flawless partnership, and you knew that Stokes was looking clueless, and hence the celebration as well when he got punched out of the crease. I think that was a very very important moment, probably the decisive moment in the game. India went on to match that score, but through that partnership, I think India could have easily got a lead of 70-80 runs, and that could have been decisive in the context of the game.
No, I completely agree. I think that is the most decisive factor of this game. I mean, like you said, right? That partnership was flawless. I mean, Rishabh Pant was playing so easily. KL Rahul was, I mean, oozing class, and nothing. And to be really frank, it was very difficult, right? You lost wickets. It was tough conditions. The pitch was not behaving the way it's supposed to behave. You know, England played slow. You had to take your time. It's not easy to bat, and they were taking their time. Pant was playing the attacking shots. It was the perfect partnership, right? I mean. Like you said, I think if even if you'd have got the way they were playing, I couldn't think of them being dismissed for the next 100 runs also. And post that, it was almost a collapse, right? I think what we were like 240 for four or something like that, and then we were 380 all out. It was almost like
Yeah.
we lost 6 wickets for like 100 odd runs.
I
And
mean
though we
that's
had a
that
50
has been
run
the
Jadeja,
Yeah, I mean that has
yeah,
been the pattern, Sulesh. We
yeah,
were like 360 odd for six, and then suddenly 387 all out. and
All
that has
out.
been the
Yeah.
pattern. Batting the second inning, will come to later to that later.
Correct.
But I think
Yeah.
Jadeja again
No.
was brilliant.
No. And again, hats off to Stokes, right? I mean, what a clutch player. Like you know that nothing is happening. You know that this partnership is just like you said, maybe 50, 60 runs more, and the game is away from you. And the presence of mind. I mean, presence of mind to throw it at that end, knowing that it's very crucial to get Rishabh Pant, who's so in form. I mean, just unbelievable clutch guy. And to have him as a captain leading England is just superb to watch. And what a competitor! And I want to discuss this whole milestone thing, right? I mean, I know Gil also mentioned that yes, we keep thinking that okay, don't play for milestones, and clearly this is a milestone thing. You wanted him on strike, you wanted him to get that century before the break. What goes into batsmen? Why, do you think milestones are still? I mean, as game has evolved, like in T20 now, for example, milestones are not really sought after. But I think in Test cricket at Lords, you won that 100. That sort of thing comes into the occasion. You know? Is that a monumental thing? But I don't know, man. I mean, I think it's time teams think beyond a milestone. Yeah.
It's like a mindset thing, Suresh. To be honest, again the aura of Lords. You were playing
Yeah.
a test match at Lords probably once in every 3 years or so, uh, and not too often you'd get an opportunity where you can see that 100 coming, right? But again, you got to think from a team perspective. I know it's easier said than done, but I think
Yeah.
that mindset, that 100 probably, the desire to get that 100 before the break probably cost India the game.
Yeah. No,
And I think
completely agree.
we'll
Great,
have to
great.
move on
Yeah.
from there. Yeah, I mean that's I know Gautam Gambhir has always been really vocal about the personal milestone versus the entire team thing, but I think somewhere it is not an easy thing to do, and that's the difference between an Aussie, an English, or an Indian mindset, or a subcontinent mindset rather. We do care about personal milestone, and it has been imbibed in our the way we have been brought up. It's not only about cricket, in our general things as well. If you see,
Yeah.
we value personal milestones more than anything else, even in our corporate life, right? It's
Yeah.
me before the team. I mean, that's how it works in India, and
Yeah.
it is so different in Australia, even in South Africa, and that's a cultural thing. I'm not too sure if we can. I know it's a topic of debate, but hard to go past that. From the mindset point of view. I think that when India finished on 387, and I think it was an even Stevens before the third inning started. You always know that England had an advantage because batting force on that track was never gonna be an easy task. But the way Indian bowling, especially Mohammed Siraj, man, what a bowler, what a performer. He has been a fighter for India. I know he has had an off tour in Australia. We were criticizing him for certain things, but I think he has shown up again in this game, especially in the second innings. The way he's bowled, picking up those crucial wickets. It's not only about the wickets, the line and length which he was consistently hitting, and the batting collapse which occurred, in the second innings. England probably, uh, you know when they got all out at 190 odd. I think I had that comfort. I remember having this discussion with one of my friends, that India need to bundle England out before, in less than 225, because anything beyond 225 was making me feel uncomfortable. And when
Yeah.
England was not able to breach that 200 mark, I thought India's got a really good opportunity to, get the score settled. And before that, I think I want to specifically talk about that, uh, the end of day three thing, where the entire Jack Crawley, the Ben Duckett thing happened. And I think India probably, sort of went a little too ahead, and it charged up the English side the way at this time India was on receiving end. If you remember last time we were at Lords, that 60 overs of hell thing happened where
Yeah.
India probably got charged up because of that heated thing between, Bumrah and the English side, and we also charged up that we completely dominated thereafter. And I think this was a reverse Sunu from England this time around. I think they
Yeah.
got united, they got really charged up after that incident when Shubman Gill, all the all those guys were sort of really, really getting into the moment and trying to create that additional pressure on the batters. I think that sort of acted like a reverse Uno on India.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think, I mean, till then, there were some players, English players, who were charged up, but that particular incident, I mean, like Gill behaving like that, right? Whatever said and done, yes, I know. I see. Teams take their time, right? Why would you want to bat 1 over? Nobody wants to bat 1 over. No, everybody does that. Even Akashdeep did it the next day. Everybody does that. I mean, it's expected, right? And Crawley, I mean, uh, every batsman would do that, and I think we sort of overreacted the way Gill behaved, especially. And like you said, I think it definitely charged them up. I mean, the Jofra Archer who bowled the first innings and the Jofra Archer who bowled the next innings was completely different. A lot of the English players were like really charged up this time, and it has to be the factor that, you know what, you went after one of our players, we are all now going after you. And the way Zach Crawley and Ben Duckett were targeted in that one over spell, I'm sure that dressing room of England was like, you wait and watch. And I mean, yeah, like you said, it was the reverse Uno effect. Unfortunate, but maybe, obviously, we were also taking the heat of the moment. We also wanted to show that, we are pumped up and we are pissed off at the fact that you came in late, but yeah,
So
had the wrong effect.
Sulesh, I absolutely have no issues with that. In fact, I really enjoy those kind of banters. That's the beauty of Test cricket, right? But you
Yeah.
gotta back that up with your performance, right? The way Kohli used to do it. For example, if you some the opposition rubs Kohli in the wrong way, I think Kohli was like 2x of the player what he generally was, right? That's the way it
Yeah.
worked for Kohli. He used to get charged up big time, and over the years, teams realize that it's best not to engage in
Yeah.
banter, any verbal conversation with Kohli, because that sort of brings the best out of him.
Yeah.
With Gill, I think when he came onto the bat later in the final session of the fourth day, you could feel those nerves. You could see that he's anxious. Uh,
Mm.
he's not that experienced. He probably is not like, by personality, by nature, he's probably not like Kohli, right? He's a different
Yeah.
personality. And the way he reacted, and then the when he came onto the bat, onto bat, I think he was all over the place, and especially with considering the fact the kind of form he is in, then also I think he was struggling. He was really anxious on the. You could feel that, okay, there's a wicket around the corner, because he was not settled. I think
Yeah.
that's where the problem lies. And I think if again, I was discussing this with someone. Co- Gill has been batting well, right? But probably what separates good player and the great players is the temperament. I would really love to see how Gill the batter approaches the next game, because opposition now knows how to play around with his mindset. And I'm really, really, excited to see how he sort of counters that with his batting in the next game.
Yeah. No, I mean, yeah, you're right. But I think, I mean, like you said, right, the young captain, I mean, these things get into your head sometimes, right? And obviously, your bowlers are charged up. Bumrah is the best bowler in the world. He's coming up in bowling, and you want to pump him. You want to pump Siraj. So you do that, right? And like you said, maybe it's not in his nature, but he's done it. And maybe he felt himself that, you know what, it probably looked a bit out of place. And he was anxious while batting as well. I mean, the shot he played, and Karunai leaving the ball right down the hill, bro. You know that the ball is going to come into you like that. That's the way the pitch is. That's the way the ground is, right? And still you play those shots and still you leave the ball. It's sort of a dark moment. But I am pretty sure Gill will come good as a batsman. I mean, like you said, the temperament is there. I think it's just a young captain being nerves, but otherwise, I'm pretty sure he'll come back strong. But talking of people like Karun Nair, I don't know, man. I think enough chances have been given, and unfortunately, the fact that I mean, there's so much good talent waiting in the banks. Right? You have Sai Sudarshan, you have Abhimanyu Ishwaran, you have Sarfaraz Khan, really young players who are really thirsty for the opportunity. And Karun Nair being at the wrong side of 30, and the fact that he's not been performing well, 6 innings, I think not even 150. I think it's probably the last match for him this series.
When I see Karun Nair, you get a feeling that he's compact in his technique.
Hmm.
I think it's really, really, there are two kind of batters. If you are not scoring runs, if you are scoring, then there's a different discussion. If you're not scoring runs, then there are two kind of batters. One, the viewer can actually make out that you are struggling, that your technique is not right, your head is not
Yeah.
still, your feet are not moving, probably something like that, right? But with Karun Nair, he was looking solid,
Hmm.
and that's my problem with Karunwar. You're looking solid. You're defending well. You're playing straight drives. You're playing cover drives. You're checking your shot. You're
Yeah.
coming. Sort of bat is coming straight. But suddenly one moment, and this has been a pattern for the last 6 innings. One
That's
ball
the
will come,
problem.
and then
Yeah.
probably you'll have probably a brain fade. You play a rash shot. You'll go down. Chasing the ball outside the off stump or something like that happens with him. I would still feel that he might get another game, considering the fact that Sai Sudarshan was tried as a number three batter in the opening game, and he looked anxious. I mean, again, I will go back to the initial point. He looked anxious. Uh, Nair has not been scoring runs, I agree, but again, he's looking solid. He's looking compact. I probably would love to see him get another chance in the fourth test, but I'm not too sure, man. I mean, number three is the position. Number three and number four are your most important.
Yeah,
batters, especially in the test setup, because this was an ideal situation for someone like an Iyer to cement his place in the squad, right? Had India seen that day off without losing another wicket, like they could have finished on 55, 50 or 60 for one, it would have been a different ball game. What it did is suddenly got out an anxious Gill in the final 20 odd minutes. Then they had to send a night watchman again who got dismissed. So it sort of triggered a collapse. And early morning as well the next day, I think showed an impact wherein Pant, who was not completely fit, he was not moving his feet well, his hand was not in the right position, and we lost a lot of quick wickets. So I think that Nair dismissal probably triggered that collapse, and which I mean, that's what the number three does, right? You had Rahul Dravid doing it for years, blocking that one end, completely choking the end from, and letting the other batters score. And you would have expected Nair to do something like that. But I'm really
yeah.
disappointed in Nair. But again, I'm not too sure if they would look for someone like Sudarshan in the next game.
Yeah, no, I mean you're right. I mean that wicket is very crucial, and the way he got out, right? I mean, like, there's no other word other than brain fade. I mean, you know that the ball is incoming. You can't just leave the ball lad. It's just ridiculous. And some like actually bring up a good point, right? The role of number three, it's very like the when you know it's a tough situation out there, the number three is supposed to just put his head down, take your time, see out the balls, and then start scoring. That's the main role of number three. Get that ball hold for the rest of the team and ensure that you have spent enough time out there in the crease so that the rest can bat easily. But I mean, at that situation, I think Karuna should have put his head down. He should have taken more time. Rahul is actually playing well. Post that drop from Vokes, he Rahul also was very anxious, right? But once the drop catch happened, he realized that, oh shit, I can't go into a shell. I should start scoring. And he hit a few fluent boundaries also. So Rahul at the other end was looking very, very compact. All you had to do was just spend some more time on the crease and ensure that you see the day out. But I don't know, man. I mean, I don't know. I think like Sai Solution, I know you mentioned nerves, right? But he's a debutant. Nerves will happen in his first match. Maybe it's time. I don't know. I would look for a Sai Solution or a Abhimanyu Ishwaran. I know it's a crucial match. We are two down in the series, but difficult choice. But I think, and another thing I want to ask you is coming into Pant, right? I mean, you know he's injured, and you know Jafra Archer. I mean, they're mentioning the averages, right? Jafra Archer, I think he averages 19 against left-handers, and I think 30 odd against right-handers, and and he was so charged up. I don't know. I mean, yeah, Pant is a slotted number five, but at that point, I don't know the right thing to do with their injury as well. You're already so jittery with four down, and then you send in somebody who's injured. It doesn't really give the best confidence to start the day, right?
I was not sure, Sulesh, because India, if you're talking about the left-handers, India had three left-handers in those Pant, Jadeja, Washington Sundar. Reddy probably
Yeah,
was the only exception. Probably he would have been sent, but I'm not too sure. Probably did not want to tinker too much with the batting order. And the kind of form Archer was in, and then that 14 July impact as well. I think he could have probably got any batsman out in that spell.
yeah. What
So
a spell! Yeah,
that was a top class, world class bowling at display. Uh, I think before we end, I think we should definitely talk about the efforts of Ravindra Jadeja along with the tail. Uh, Jadeja, I think most of the times he doesn't have that strong PR working for him day in and out like some of the other players. But man, I think we are blessed to have someone like Jadeja at number seven and number eight who has got more than 3,000, 4,000 runs and around 350 wickets or something. I don't know how many players except Jack Callis. I don't remember anyone in the last 25 odd years doing that at an international level in the Test cricket. And once again, he showed. When the going gets tough, he's the guy. He's someone who probably will stabilize the ship. He did it in almost did it in 2019 as well in the World Cup semi-final. He has done it multiple times in the Test format. He has been our best batter probably after Pant over the last 4 5 years in the
yeah,
Test format. And I think the way he batted, I know a lot of people questioning his approach, but which I find bizarre because England was always in the game. It was just a matter of couple of good balls. So ऐसा नहीं है कि वो attack करता तो and they were having that spread out field right for him. So there was no way he could have played the aggressor role, and even India would have not crossed 150 as well. If Jadeja would have taken that approach. That's my hypothesis. That's my gut feel. But I think the way he batted and the way Bumrah and Siraj batted along with him, I think deserves a lot of credit.
Yeah, no, I mean, like you said, right, he's easily been our best batsman. You can say post Pant and what, four consecutive 50s in England in the series. I mean, unbelievable, unbelievable record, and truly blessed. I mean, a lot of people don't acknowledge the fact that we are in the midst of one of the greatest all rounders of all time. And I mean, and adding to all that, he's one of the best fielders cricket has seen, right? I mean, so what a record! I mean, even this innings, right? I mean, you as long as he was there, you always had hope, and that is the only reason you had hope, right? Because he was playing with Thailanders. Uh, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I understand. To be really frank, I understand what people are saying, right? Like even the record, even like for example, Ben Stokes innings with Jack Leach, right? What I think Stokes played 100 plus balls, and I think Jack Leach ended up playing what 15, 16 balls. That's all he played. Maybe there is a merit to the fact that Jadeja doesn't really play well with the tail. He doesn't need that whole striking, giving the strike, taking the strike off towards the last ball. That's very crucial, right? I know it's gotten easy to play, right? I mean, once the ball gets to 30th, 40th over, it's easy to play, and that's the only reason why Siraj and Bumrah were able to spend 40, 50 balls. But maybe I don't know. I mean, 40, 50 balls for a number nine, number 10, it is unexpected and difficult to say. I mean, I agree the fact that England were on top and Jadeja, the moment it's you can't hit every ball also, and I understand that. But I think maybe the herding of strike, that's the argument I feel that maybe yeah there is something which he could have done. And the whole how do you coach a tailender, right? Like that shot Bumrah played. I, for the hell of my mind, can't understand how do you play a shot like that. You have settled batsman who's not playing a shot like that. Why are you playing that? So maybe some sort of coaching also. I don't know. I mean, yeah. I mean, now even they lose the match, you can bring up all these points. I agree, but no, I mean, commendable, man. The fact that we got it till that 22 runs target, I think it's really really commendable. Yeah,
No, I think interesting point you have brought about that Ben Stokes inning. But I think the difference over there was Australia was constantly attacking both Ben Stokes and Jack Leach over there. It
yeah,
was not a completely spread out field. Whereas in Jadeja's case, I think it was pretty much spread out from the ball one for Jadeja. And I'm not too sure, man. I think Jadeja again, he might not be as good as Stokes in uh, probably in batting with tailenders, but I think he did a fair job yesterday. And the
yeah,
very fact that we
definitely.
were able to bring
Yeah,
down
no
the
question.
margin to 20 odd runs, I think it's
Yeah,
a great effort. And I think one again the before we close, I think I would really like to I mean, express this that I think really like the way England probably went out and
yeah,
congratulated Jadeja and Siraj for their efforts. I think that's the difference between English cricketers and the Aussies. You know, Aussies, you see that they have got a certain way of carrying themselves, but they played the hard game. It was Test cricket at its peak. The beauty of Test cricket lies in the way it was played yesterday, and you go hard at each other, and then when the game is done, I think you congratulate each other for the efforts
yeah.
the guys have put in. I think that was a good thing, good gesture by the English team as well.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. I mean, the fact that each of these test matches, I think, other than the second one, I mean, everything went to the last session, and the fact that I mean, I think India will go back with a really good confidence, right? The fact that we almost pulled this off. Yes, we could have chasing a target of 200 is considered easy, especially in a pitch like Lords, right? Where a lot of times people end up chasing these targets, especially in the World Test Championship. Also, the finals are really chase for them. But I think the fact that considering you were 81 for seven, and this team put up that fight, I think that will really boost the confidence of the Indian cricket team. And the fact that, yes, like you said, right, we should have been probably 3-0 up in the series. And it's a young team putting up that really good fight. Looking forward to the next match. And I think a really strong Indian performance is going to come through. And looking forward to the fact that we'll go to the last match with a even Steven score. But hats off, hats off. I mean, this is test, like you said, this test cricket is the best. Every match going to the last session, every team putting up the best performance out there, and clutch players coming through, and the best players showing their performance, showing their class. Root showing his class, Bumrah showing his class. This is a series which is like a benchmark series, we can say now. I mean, I know the Ashes is what England fight forward to, but this is what a prelude to the Ashes, right? I mean, 2-1 and everything to play for.
Yeah, I think that's a fairly summarized, Suresh. So before we wind up, any changes which you are anticipating in the next game for India?
No, like I said, I mean, I think maybe they would look for a substitution instead of Karuna. That's again my I think so. But I agree with your point as well. He's looked good when he's batted, so maybe they may give him a chance. But other than that, No, I mean, like they keep arguing, right? How long a batting lineup do you have? In spite of having such a big batting lineup, you still were not able to cross the line. So I don't know, but I think they'll continue. I mean, I
Yeah,
think they'll continue with the fight. And Sundar bowled
yeah,
well, right?
yeah,
Four
yeah,
wickets
yeah.
at Lords.
I
He
think
bowled well.
Yeah, I think they will stick with the same 11 is what my hunch is until and unless Bumrah, there could be a force change if there's something wrong
Right.
with Rishabh Pant's finger, then probably Dhruv Jurel would come into the
Dhruv
picture
Jurel.
straight away. Or else I don't see any change because Sundar also bowled pretty well in the second half of the innings,
Yeah.
right? Second innings in particular. We'll have to wait and watch for the Nair case. I still feel that he should get one more game, but we'll have to see what management sort of decides. But yeah, all excited. I can't wait. I mean, so there's a long gap, so we have got our uh, waiting hats on. Um, cool, man. I think it was a good, fun talk. Let's hope
Do
India
you think
comes
Bumrah
back
will play?
stronger. I think he will play. I think
Hmm.
there's a long gap, and there is no point in resting your best bowler if you are 2-1 down in the series. It's
Yeah.
like a decider for you.
Yeah.
You
Same. I
gotta
agree.
come back
Same.
at
Yeah.
Manchester.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same.
Cool,
Looking
Sudesh. I think
forward.
we'll catch up. Yeah, yeah. Sure. Thanks a lot, guys.
See you guys. Bye.